Okay, I'm going to try to record problem number 24 before school starts. And so problem number 24 from the textbook says we have a line segment that goes through the point, endpoints -1, comma 3 and 3, comma -2, and we're asked to write the parametric equations for that. And so what we need to do is we're going to start by saying x is equal to x sub 1 plus a times t, and y is equal to y sub 1 plus b times t. And we make the assumption that the first point starts when t equals 0 and the second point starts when t equals 1. And so this would be my x sub 1, y sub 1, and this would be my x sub 2, y sub 2. And so my first equation is going to be x equals -1 plus a times t, right? And then my second equation is going to be y is equal to 3 plus b times t. Now at this point, what I'd like to do is we've got to solve for a and for b. So since these are the first x's and y's, a and b affect the second x and y. So now I'm going to plug in my second x and y. So I'm going to take this 3 and plug it in for x. So I'm going to say 3 is equal to -1 times a, and here we need to make the assumption that t equals 1. So a times t, which is 1, and then do the same thing here. I'm going to take my y, which is -2, is equal to 3 times b times t, but we're assuming that t equals 1. Okay, and that's pretty much the algorithm to solve these problems. And so what we want to do then is to solve for a. I basically, if I add 1 to both sides, I get 4 is equal to a, and then over here if I subtract 3 from both sides, I get -5 is equal to b. So now that I know what a and b are, I'm going to go with these original equations and say x will be equal to -1 plus a, but a is 4 times t. And then over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say y is equal to, getting it from here, 3 plus b, which is -5. Actually, I should have written -5, but that's okay. And so these are my parametric equations that should graph those two endpoints. And so one way to verify that is if I pull up my calculator and I turn my calculator on, and I want to make sure that I'm in parametric mode. So I'm going to come down here in the mode screen and select PAR for parametric. And then I'm going to, when I hit the y equals, I'll get x sub t. And so I'm going to enter in -1. Let me move this over so you can see everything. -1 plus 4 times t. And then for my y value, I'm going to get 3, and I'll just put -5 so that way you guys can see that it could be written both ways. 5t. Now, when I hit graph, it's going to look a little funny because I haven't set the parameters for t. So remember, if I hit, I don't need to hit second. If I just click on window, we chose that the initial t was 0, right? So we want t was from 0 to 1 is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to change my second setting. My t min is 0, my t max will be 1, and my t step will be, we'll make it a small one like 0.1. And now when I hit graph, whoop, and that goes from the point, my 2 points, if you -1 comma 3. So right here is -1 comma 3. In fact, we can verify that by hitting trace. -1 comma 3, and then if I plug in 3 for x, oh, I can't do it that way. I got to plug in 1 for t, and then that takes me to the other point, which is 3 comma -2. Okay? Hope that helps.